We've met before, haven't we?
I don't think so. Where was it you think we met?
At your house, don't you remember?
No, I don't. Are you sure?
Of course. As a matter of fact, I'm there right now.
What do you mean you're where right now?
At your house.
That's fucking crazy, man.
Call me. Dial your number. Go ahead. I told you I was here.
How'd you do that?
Ask me.
How'd you get inside my house?
You invited me. It is not my custom to go where I am not wanted.
Who are you?
Give me back my phone. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Welcome, dear listeners, to Flyby Films. Spooktacular Spooks of Festival of Spooks, Spooktober, something. So this is our fourth installment of our October series. As you know, we actually put our asses in high gear and deliver weekly during this month because we love it so much. Well, I love it so much. Jamison is kind of halfway about it. He likes Thanksgiving more, which is weird. But we like horror, and so we want to deliver the goods to our listeners. So we cut it down in half, and we deliver it weekly. And I don't know about you, Jamison, but I feel like this year has been a lot harder to get done than last year. Do you think that's because we have kids now? We have extra kids that we didn't have before?
We added 2 more children into our lives between us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually absolutely what it is. But here's the thing. It's harder to get done, but the quality of these movies have been so much better.
Oh,
so it's
massively better.
It's been more of a joy to do, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like last year's was a lot more painful in the actual viewing experience, not in the recording experience. But yeah, these are much easier to partake in. Even the ones that were not, which really we've only seen one that we're not too keen on.
Yeah, I think that out of the 4 that we've seen, one of them was legitimately not a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one that is good, but whether or not you like it might... I thought it was a good movie, but I don't think it was necessarily something you need to watch.
Or you want to watch again.
or you'd want to watch again. It's a good historical, document maybe.
Yeah.
And then the other two are good movies.
Yeah.
I might even recommend them.
Mm-hmm.
So
easily.
In fact, I probably will. So
No doubt. So yes, I am Blake Collier, your intrepid host, and with me is my co-host, sometimes full-on host, sometimes I'm the co-host, Jamison Barsotti. And we are the Fly-By Films crew. Our producer is constantly yelling at us for being too off target. To our producer, I say, "Fuck you, sir. We don't pay you anyways." And so,
is this Thad? Did we hire Thad as the producer?
No, he's not worth naming. This so-called producer.
Oh.
He's a real piece of shit, that one. So all he does is bitch and complain about having to do this. I'm like, well, why did you put your name in the hat for it, you piece of shit? And
Blake, is this you?
Yeah, it is.
Is this the conversation that you have with yourself?
I'm psychologically unstable these days, and so I often have conversations with myself about really stupid shit. So sometimes it's actually out loud, and my wife and children are scared and have to leave the premises because I'm talking to myself so profoundly. So, anyways. TMI, bitches. No, actually, production on this show is pretty easy on the big scheme of things. That's because I don't put so little into it.
I was gonna say, Blake, I think you and I are on the same page about the amount of effort that should be added into this podcast. And if you're adding more effort, then I might have to talk to our producer, is what I'm saying, about where their priorities are. Mm-hmm. And
no, that's fair.
And that their priorities should not be in the show that they are producing. So
yeah, they that producer is a diva sometimes, and he needs a good talking to with the back of a hand. So
yeah, the back of an internet hand.
Back of the internet.
However
hand.
That works.
I will say, just to give our listeners a little taste of future, there will come a time next year when we will have an in-house recording. We're not going to tell you when.
Oh.
But we will be in the same room.
And we're not going to tell you the room yet either.
No, all that's going to be saved.
That's part of the surprise.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're just randomly going to get an episode in your feed. And you're going to be like, wait a second. Something sounds different.
Something's either better or worse or similar but different.
Probably similar, but
those
different.
will be your options. Yeah.
When in doubt, always go with C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Blake, how have you been? Tell me a little bit about what's going on in Collier Land.
I am currently extremely tired, but that's because I fell asleep putting my oldest to bed. He's been extremely difficult in the realm of going to sleep lately, and so I spend way too much effort in trying to get him to go to sleep that I expend all my energy and fall asleep myself. And then my wife woke me up about 8 minutes before we were supposed to record. And then, there's a lot of havoc that ensued afterwards. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's we're starting 15 minutes later than we would have otherwise. But yeah, I'm here. I'm alive.
Did your son successfully go to sleep, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
I think that would have been. That would have been a worse.
Oh, we would not have been
situation where you
recording
fall
if I
asleep.
had woken up from falling asleep and he still was not asleep. I would have just given up. I would have been like, nope,
Yeah,
this is clearly not going to happen
Yeah.
tonight. So,
yeah, and
but
loyal listeners, we always allow for escape routes like that.
oh
So,
yeah, you
yeah.
kind of have to.
yeah.
As parents of
So,
small
yeah,
children, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So no,
Uh,
I'm good otherwise. I mean, it's a Sunday
Oh,
night
good.
when we're recording this, so I mean, I've got the Sunday scaries, but other than that,
dude, I hate those.
I mean, I get them every Sunday,
Yeah,
unless Monday is a holiday, and then I don't.
I
get
know. Do you get them Monday?
them. No, once I wake up on Monday, I'm usually fine, but it's just the dread of another week. So
I don't get them as hard on Mondays too, and I think it has something to do with the fact that like if you get a holiday on a Monday, then the amount of time to the next weekend is smaller.
yes,
So it feels more manageable going into it.
yeah,
But yeah, Sunday Scaries, like, I remember just having the biggest ever Sunday Scary feel the week that summer vacation was over
yeah.
when I was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
and now, yeah, it's just kind of metered out throughout the year where I just feel like I wasted everything. I didn't do enough on the weekend, and my life is
Well, and so
just
it's
a
so
drone
weird because
attack.
that's a little bit different than mine. Like, I never really like. I can maybe count on two hands the amount of times that I haven't felt like I've accomplished enough during a weekend. It's not because I'm super productive or anything like that. It's just I don't ultimately care if I accomplished what I set out to do. But it's more like, ugh, another week of 8 to 5 bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's what I was getting to, is
Yeah.
that then back to the drone work,
Mhm.
back to being, I think I told you this week, I like got to the end of my week and I just felt like a drone. Like, I literally didn't remember what happened from Monday to Thursday night.
Oh,
It
man.
just felt like there was nothing.
It's brutal.
So,
It is brutal. And usually
is.
once I get to work and get through half the day of Monday, I'm usually fine. Like, I'm back into the swing of things and it's
sure.
perfectly fine the rest of the week. But thankfully, I don't have anything too, like, pressing. Whenever I have weeks where I've got deadlines and stuff like that, then the Sunday Scaries are particularly fun. So,
Particularly spooky.
yeah. And not the best kind of spooky. Like, all the worst ways. Like my son has apparently seen a spider shadow crawling out from under his bed a couple of times, and so that's been part of the reason why he's had a hard time going to sleep lately. And so it's kind of like that, except way less cool.
How big is the spider's shadow?
I don't know. I mean, he is the worst at describing things. Like, the absolute worst.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Like, I got him on the couch this afternoon, and I had his baby monitor, which is attached to, like, high up on the wall above his crib. And, it's got a pretty good range. Like, you can see most of the room if you kind of maneuver it. And I was basically showing him the monitor. I was like, okay, so tell me where this shadow is coming from. And I was trying to like, is it coming out from this side or is it coming out from this side? Because my thought and my wife's thought was maybe if we show him that we can see what's going on in his room, like maybe it'll be less intimidating, knowing that we can see, and if we see something weird going on, we'll come in and take care of business, kick some shadow ass or something. But
sure.
He proceeded to not give us a whole lot of detail, and so I was like, man, we really need to work on those skills.
Yeah. Well, so okay, Seamus is almost 3,
yep,
right?
Almost 3.
And when did he start becoming scared of spiders?
Well, I don't actually think he's afraid of spiders. I think he's afraid of the dark.
Okay.
And anything, and I think he just equates anything he sees shadow-wise with, like, creepy crawly things, and whatnot.
Sure.
Because on Saturday night, we have this web spider. I don't know what kind it is, that has made a pretty nice little web from our shed to the fence that we have. And I always find that stuff fascinating.
Your new fence, right?
Yes, my new fence. Yeah. That we just got built after the storm of 2023, tearing it apart. Good times.
Congratulations.
So yeah, he had built this web and he was crawling around. He had already wrapped up a bug, ready for it to suck it dry and all whatever he does to feed. And I was like, hey, Seamus, come over here. Like, this is kind of cool. This is like what spiders do. This is like an actual spider web, which you know what it is. And we were watching the spider for a little bit. And we got to watch it eat the bug. And I'm like, hey, this is what spiders do. This is how they get fed. They catch bugs in the air in their web and wrap them up and paralyze them and suck out their life juices, basically. I didn't go into that level of detail, but I said, yeah, that's basically the spider eating the bug. So.
Okay, yeah.
But, I mean, he was fascinated with it. Like, he's, I mean, I held him and he looked at it for a good, probably 5-10 minutes. Just watching the spider.
Was this like, this was recently that you guys
Saturday.
Did that? Okay, so do you think he's probably connecting like spider with creepy crawly stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean he is. He had seen the shadow before that even happened. Like he had seen it sometime last week for the first time. He told us it was a shadow spider coming out from under his bed. On like probably midweek last week. And I mean, I'm not one of those dads that's like, go to bed, you don't know what you're seeing, all this stuff. Like, I believe in that shit, so I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna be better safe than sorry. Like, shit's going down, like, I want to know about it. So, not saying this specific instance is true, or that he's actually seeing it, but I'm not gonna, disbelieve the little guy because he's 3 and doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. So,
well, and also, it's a teachable moment because when your house does get attacked by demons, you want your son to be able to describe them well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, teachable moment.
And when he gets a little bit older and has a slightly better memory, I'm going to teach him some of the liturgies around casting demons and ghosties and ghoulies out of a room. So,
and that's going to require a lot of memory and detail.
Yeah, basically the parts of Supernatural that we did not get to see, where the boys were being raised by the dad. That's what I want his life to be like, growing up.
I have a confession.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Supernatural.
That's fine.
Other than it's like two brothers that hunt supernatural things.
Yep, that is literally the show.
Okay,
It gets
my
super
sister
weird around season 6 because they bring in angels and demons, but it's really weird.
Okay.
I stopped watching around that time. The first 5 seasons are spectacular, though. Like Monster of the Week, X-Files kind of shit. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I loved those episodes of the X-Files. So.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. But yeah, my sisters were all into it. I know my oldest sister was really into it, and then I have 2 younger sisters who are twins, and I think both of them. I'm not sure. I think
sure
both of
they'll
them were
correct
into
you,
it
because they all listen to this, right?
I don't know if they're up to date, but
are you saying that they stopped
Casey,
listening? Are you saying that we lost listeners?
Maybe. That might be what I'm saying, Blake.
That's fair.
Casey, if you're listening to this, will you correct me on if you were a Supernatural fan and if Kirsten was a Supernatural fan?
And let us know if you watched all the way to like season 19 or something, because that's when it ended finally.
Is it over?
Yeah, they ended it.
Okay.
But it was like 18, 19 seasons or something like that.
Wow.
It was nuts.
That's commitment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's my plan for this podcast is we are going to get a fan base just simply by outlasting all the other podcasts.
Like we're going to be like the cockroach that just refuses to die until all the others die. And then everyone they're like, what podcast are we going to listen to? Well, the only one that's still alive is this one with these 2 guys randomly talking about shit and then talking about a movie.
It's been going for 87 years. We have all this backlog. Great. Let's do it.
I mean, shit, nostalgia hits hard. Sometimes I'll go back and I'll try to find the old podcasts I used to listen to back in like 2010, back in the birth of podcasting. Like, podcasts have been around a lot longer than that, but like 2010, around that time was when it was starting to like become a thing. And like some of those shows are still going.
That's when we should have started this thing.
I mean,
why did we think of that?
I don't know.
We were 12 years too late.
That was back when what's that NPR show? This American Life. That was back when This American Life was still good. 2016 fucked up a lot of things. Now everything's just uber political and kind of annoying. This American Life used to have stories that were actually fascinating. And then they started doing a lot of more political crap. I was like,
they're just... Yeah. I haven't listened to This American Life probably since 2010.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Blake.
Sorry to hear that This American Life sucks now.
Yeah, that you lost your...
I used to listen to Radio Lab too,
life.
And then they got annoying. It's bound to happen. Every podcast gets annoying.
Not if you start it as annoying. Then it just stays annoying. It doesn't get annoying.
We're not annoying, Jamison. We're a mouthpiece for the people. We're unpaid film critics. We don't get paid for this.
Who else? We don't get paid for this.
No. We tell you
who is going to speak for the field recordings. Yeah.
This is good field recording.
This is good field recording. That's what I could say.
Damn right. So I feel like. Well, okay. So first off, you need to tell us what your day has been like because, good lord, man, it's a saga.
Well, okay,
Like a
so
Queens
it actually
of the Stone Age like saga.
my day actually begins 7 or 8 days ago with last Saturday. that's how long my day has been. No, so just some background. My wife, who is an artist, is participating in our city's open studio art tour.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone is familiar with that, I guess there are some kind of cities that do things similar to this. It's kind of like maybe like a garden tour, except it's not about gardens. It's about art and art studios. So the Chico Art Collective or something or another. I forget what their name is. Kira could correct me later, but they enlist a bunch of artists in the area who say they want to kind of open up their homes or their studios or whatever, however they want to kind of showcase their art, and they create a citywide tour where people can kind of like pay $15 for these maps. It's a fundraiser for this art center. They pay $15 for these maps, and the maps have locations of all these art studios that are participating, and it's all basically like open houses. So all of these artists open up their houses. Generally, that's where their studios are. And you go in and they hang art on their walls and they try to sell art. And, it's this big thing. It's actually really cool. And it's cool to me because every time, this is the second year that Kira has participated. She participated last year. But every time I look at this map, I'm like, damn, there are a lot of artists in Chico.
Well, shit,
and
yeah, there are.
Just,
I mean, considering your wife does a podcast talking to all the creative people in Chico, I mean, it's got to be quite a few.
true. Yeah, but like, we learned last year when we did this that there was an artist who participates in this thing just literally across the street from us, like next door, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's this artist who she's Taiwanese, and she has this really, really beautiful art studio and beautiful house, and her art has this cool like layered effect to it. She does kind of a lot of still life. I didn't see any of her. I actually didn't go to her house this year. She came by because she loves babies and she wanted to see Hazel. But you just see kind of it's a cool art tour because it's not like the artists put everything into a museum and you see kind of this centralized location. Instead, you get to kind of go underground in a sense. I mean, you're not going underground, but you're going to the houses. You're going to the grassroots of where this stuff is being created. And I really like that about it. I'm not trying to sell anyone on it. But now I'll get into the kind of the negatives of it. If you're participating in it, you basically are agreeing to do an open house for 4 fucking days.
Whoa.
And for like 8-hour days. It's nuts. And so we last weekend we opened up our house, and we have Hazel. He wants to run around, and
wait, is he actually running at this point, or is he crawling?
No, he's just crawling, but he wants to crawl everywhere. Kira was sick the first day, so she actually canceled her portion, but we had invited 2 artists to come and use our courtyard because their living space is kind of smaller and they don't have the openness of it. So they were like, yeah, let's do that. So we were kind of sharing. So they were still open. Because again, this is also like an opportunity for artists to sell things. So it would have been kind of lame if we were like, yeah, plan to have your stuff at our house. And then we like canceled their ability to sell things.
Yeah.
So we like let them continue doing that. So we just kind of had a hole up in our house the first day, while people came to our property. And then, the next day Kira was open and it was good. And then yesterday it was good. It's just exhausting. And then today, the last day of the open studios, it rained. And so we actually brought everybody into our house and just kind of reorganized everything and had 3 artists in the house. And it actually didn't end up being that slow too. Like we thought like, oh, last day of the tour, it was going to be it's a Sunday. Sundays are usually slower. It's rainy. It was pretty busy. We had tons of people coming into our house. It was a really good event for Kira, and she sold a lot of art, and that was like really cool to see. She got a lot of positive feedback, but man, it was exhausting. It was exhausting for me. It was exhausting for Kira. It was exhausting for Hazel. Yeah. So.
Dang.
That was my day.
So tell me, please, did Kira at least bank?
Yes, Kira banked.
Good.
Kira sold. I think she made like $1,500 worth of sales over the whole 4 days. So yeah, it was good. I think it's been one of her more successful like singular events, even though it was kind of a bigger type event. But yeah, that was good.
Awesome.
She actually like on her first day that she was open, she actually like looked at all of her art and she like turns to me and she's like, I think I'm just gonna have everything 50% off. I need to get rid of some of this art. And that really resonated with people. So she kind of pulled a JCPenney move there, where she just slashed all the prices. And I think that helped.
Dang.
Yeah.
Shit. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It was great. And then I also ran a half marathon today. So that was...
Yeah, just put that one in the background. Just throw it in the background. Yeah. People are like, oh, Jamison ran a half marathon. No big fucking deal. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was supposed to be like for fun. It was like a trail run. So we actually have the 50th biggest municipal park in the world in Chico. That's one of the cool things about Chico is it's a small town with a giant ass park.
That's awesome.
Called Bidwell Park. And
did you say Bidwell?
This Bidwell, yeah.
So did
John Bidwell.
Oh, okay. It's named after a person. I thought they were just like really proud of how much they bid and how well they bid.
No. John Bidwell was actually not like... I mean, it's like anybody in whatever the old days. They were probably shitty to, the natives. John Bidwell was, and he was also the founder of Chico. So Chico actually has a lot of like what's the word? Psychosis about John Bidwell, where like they like, he's the founder of our city, so we like pay respect to him in a lot of ways, and like his mansion is like a thing you can tour. It's a big deal, but also we have like actual tribes in the area, the Machupta tribe, that like he was bad to, and we, you know,
like
we
did he just give them blankets or something?
Yeah, I think I don't know all the details. I should know more about the history of this, but I don't. But yeah, it was basically that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he came in, he swung his big white dick around, probably, and then you know, took some land where he saw he could. So
yeah, he just sank it into the land.
Yeah,
that's fair. I mean,
yes,
it is fertile. So, I've heard.
The land.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Chico has some pretty good land. There's a lot of agriculture that happens around it. So
can you imagine how hard it is to swing a big white dick when it's hard? I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I'm too tired to be on the wavelength of these jokes right now, Blake. I just... Yeah.
Well, speaking of swinging big white dicks around, I feel like we probably should get into the movie that we should be covering on this episode. Which has nothing to do with big white dicks, to be honest. Do you want to introduce this movie?
Yeah. This movie is a movie called Ghostwatch, and it's special in a couple of different ways. One, it's British, which makes it special. And two, it's actually a made-for-TV movie.
Which is wild.
Which is wild. Wild that we're covering it. And it's made for TV, but it's also... I almost want to put movie in quotes. Like, when it was first... presented, when it first kind of ran, I don't know if I wonder what it felt like when people watched it for the first time, and we can actually talk a little bit about that too. But yeah, so
because it was a pretty similar thing to like Orson Welles' radio broadcast of The War of the Worlds, and that in theory, I mean, of course, I've heard recent reappraisals of that history that kind of talked about how that was really less that significant of a thing than people make it out to be, but that more people knew it was fake than originally the story was told. But apparently this one was shown on TV without any kind of, like, they just assumed it was a special BBC news program or something like that, and that people were meant to take it somewhat seriously as a piece of guerrilla TV cinema.
Yeah, so I guess that's the way to set it up. Is the movie is presented as a BBC, special news thing. And what they're doing is they're focusing on the paranormal. And kind of what's neat about this is they didn't just hire actors to play these roles. They hired the BBC news anchors.
Yeah.
Who
they hired Michael fucking Parkinson.
Yeah. And this is probably what, that story that you told about people kind of thinking this broadcast was real. I think that was probably the thing that makes that tale believable.
Yeah.
Was that these were real news anchors. These were real BBC personalities that people trusted. You know how they say like news you can trust. Like these were the people that you put your trust in, and here they were kind of telling you this fictional story. But yeah.
If you look at the Wikipedia page for Ghostwatch, it talks about the controversy behind it. I just want to read this part because I find it humorous. It said its documentary style led many viewers to believe the events were real, causing much controversy after the show's airing. The BBC was besieged with phone calls from irate and frightened viewers, among them Parkinson's elderly mother. I mean, that's the shit right there.
That's great. Oh, wow. I didn't realize Parkinson died just this year.
Oh, really? I didn't either.
Yeah, just back in August.
Dang.
So he had been, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
And he was only in his 50s when when Ghostwatch was made.
Damn.
Yeah.
Apparently, so I'm reading further, and I really should have looked at the Wikipedia page long before the actual recording of this episode, but this is not funny. It's more me laughing as a defense mechanism by what I just read, but they were talking about the psychological effects of this TV broadcast on people in England after it aired. And
yeah.
One such said 18-year-old factory worker Martin Denham, who suffered from learning difficulties and had a mental age of 13, took his own life 5 days after the program aired. The family home had suffered with a faulty central heating system which had caused the pipes to knock. Denham linked this to the activity in the show causing great worry. He left a suicide note reading, "If there are ghosts, I will be with you always as a ghost." His mother and stepfather, April and Percy Denham, blamed the BBC. They claimed that Martin was hypnotized and obsessed by the program. Well, there you go.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah.
That puts some a dark cast on this. Although, yeah, I mean, I think we could kind of go back and forth with the influence on media on, violent acts.
I honestly don't blame Ghostwatch for that. I mean, there's a lot of things that went into that. So
absolutely. But yeah, I mean, it does suck to kind of be listed as the catalyst for an event like that.
But it was those are similar reports as what Orson Welles went through. I mean,
sure.
It was there. It just wasn't as controversial as people made it out to be, historically speaking. But yeah, it's the concept of making it part of your regular television experience and not giving any kind of clear delineation that this is fake is pretty fascinating as a as a technique.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it. So I remember watching this the first time I ever saw it, thinking I came out of it liking it, but it didn't really do a whole lot. Like, I didn't find it terribly scary, and I think it might have been because I wasn't paying that close of attention. Because this time around,
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, holy crap, this is actually a little terrifying. Like, like now, take that for what it is. I actually think the segments with the quote unquote expert lent a little bit of it felt a little bit more forced than I remembered, but the parts in the actual house were quite well done.
Yeah, actually, Blake, it's so interesting that you're saying you had that experience watching it, because I feel like I had the same experience rewatching it this time, where I'd watched it before and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then this time I watched it, and like you were saying, I was paying attention to the details more, and I was like, oh, shit, this is actually scary.
Yeah.
Like, there's more going on in the horror than I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking that what made this kind of interesting was more kind of the format and the formalism and how they were able to get away with, you know, kind of this uniqueness. But I actually think that there's genuine terror in the ghosts that they chose, and in the way that they decided to portray evil in this movie.
Well, I mean, it was brilliant calling the ghost pipes.
Yeah,
that's a badass move right there. Because it, I mean, I don't know how much you know about the Enfield haunting in Britain. If you saw The Conjuring 2, then you saw something that was loosely based on the Enfield possession or haunting, depending on who you read. But this, in some ways, is kind of a take on that event. And the Enfield haunting is a pretty terrifying example of potential possession and haunting and whatnot. But for some reason, like, I man, if you actually give this attention, like your full undivided attention, by the end of it, if you're not at least somewhat unnerved, then something's wrong with you. Because I was like, man, I'm even kind of getting creeped out by this. Because it kind of starts out like almost a little bit, you know, melodramatic and whatnot. But then as it goes, like, you start to see... I think the part where I was starting to become convinced that this was really actually pretty scary and not just cool in like a manufactured way was the moment where shit starts going down, but all that is being broadcast is the film crew and the anchor and the kids playing games.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, the whole idea of the ghost, like, entering into the technology and manufacturing what we're seeing so that it can do its own bidding undisturbed. I was like, that is terrifying.
Are you saying there was a ghost in the machine?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes. That's exactly what I was saying. The police were right.
Yeah.
Sting was right the whole time.
You're right about that being a very, very terrifying moment.
Yeah.
Because it works too, because like there's all this buildup of terror inside the house where all this, like you said, shit is hitting the fan or pipes or whatever.
Yeah.
So by this point, the movie has kind of done like a little bit of a fake out where they've resolved the ghost in one way that, that makes it seem like it was all a hoax. But then the ghost kind of comes back in unexplainable ways, and you start kind of knowing that, like, oh, there's something more going on, and this tension builds, and then it just stops, and all of a sudden they just start broadcasting that everything is fine.
Yeah.
And something is off.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of waiting, like, the ball is in the ghost's court at this point, and anything is possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even the scene where it's kind of like the gotcha of the skeptic, where you see the girl pounding the pipes with, like a wrench or something. Even that scene is unnerving. Because the look on her face almost doesn't look normal.
Mm-hmm.
Something's off about it. Like it looks like she's clearly doing it, but at the same time, like the question still remains, like, was it actually her doing it, or was she possessed?
Sure.
And so part of
and
me
that
is
like,
is that's that was unnerving for me as well.
And that is part of it too, was that they were claiming that this girl was getting possessed, and there's, there is a possession element to it. And, I don't know if this is hokey or if it works or whatever, but by the time it hits that the ghost is actually trying to kind of get into the machine and infect, all of Britain in a way,
exactly,
through this broadcast. I again, maybe that's kind of hokey depending on the person, but like, it worked for me.
Oh, I think it's fucking brilliant.
I think it's brilliant. It it reminded me. So you make this connection to War of the Worlds, but it also, when you think of it in that way, I think the expert in the movie calls it like, we've created a seance with everyone now. It almost felt like Pontypool, in a sense, where here you have this broadcast that is infecting the world. And I think we've talked about that movie to death on this podcast, but I just, that made me love this movie even more, just kind of seeing echoes of that.
Oh, for sure. And if you think about it, like, the nature of that idea is so compelling just on its own, and that you could almost take it to this kind of wider extreme concept of the like almost the origin of the corruption of media. So like there was this like so I'm going to use religious language here, but you can use differing language to explain it. But it's like there's a moment of original sin for every technology, and like if you think about the nature of like live network news, you could almost point and say that Ghostwatch at least is the fictional original sin of broadcast news, and that ever since then all news, at least in Britain, if not worldwide, has been infected.
So what do you think? I mean, yeah, I'm definitely into this idea. What do you think the original sin of broadcast news is?
Well, creating a seance. Like basically bringing evil into a space where we all could view it, partake in it, enjoy it as entertainment, outside of its original purpose, which is not to be entertained or partaken in or enjoyed or whatever, and it just spread because we're all viewing it, we're all bringing it into our own homes via television, via VHS recordings or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the problem of, well, not problem, but that's the nature of television as a new technology at the time. Broadcasting things that had never been seen before in a viewer's home. Normally you would have to go to a theater to see those kinds of things. But then you bring it into the home, and then you start, in the 70s, start having constant broadcast news. Like where you knew 24/7 what was going on in the world. You just see this consistent kind of drive towards what we now see as the internet, like just a constant overload of information and things like that. Like you could build it into this like grand narrative of kind of the ghost in the machine of technology from the very beginning to now. And so I think that's giving Ghostwatch too much credit, but that's what it makes me think of as I watched it. And kind of the inflection point.
Yeah. So what you're saying is in 1992, a bunch of people at the BBC let a ghost into a machine, into technology, through their broadcast, and then we eventually ended up with Trump on Twitter.
Yes, basically.
Okay. No, actually...
And then we got Elon Musk taking over Twitter and making it X, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Whatever. I actually really like this idea of... because I think we all kind of get on this train with, or this bandwagon with, like, news is evil. We all know that, like, there's this overload of news, and seeing all these negative things aren't good for us.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the idea of mythologizing it as coming from this moment where we broadcasted a seance and it infected technology.
Yeah.
It infected broadcast technology.
Well, and it goes back to an idea, like a theory.
I love that idea, Blake.
Have you heard of stone tape theory?
Probably not.
Okay, so...
No.
I went ahead and pulled it up on Wiki because I figured Wiki would give me a better general summary of it than I could give off the top of my head. But stone tape theory, there's a Christmas ghost story that was on the BBC in 1970s by Nigel Neal called The Stone Tape. But the stone tape theory had actually been going on before that, but that kind of popularized it and kind of brought it into the mainstream. But what stone tape theory is the speculation that ghosts and hauntings are analogous to tape recordings, and that mental impressions during emotional or traumatic events can be projected in the form of energy or recorded onto rocks and other items and replayed under certain conditions. The idea draws inspiration and shares similarities with the views of 19th century intellectualists and psychic researchers such as Charles Babbage, Eleanor Sidgwick, and Edmund Gurney. So it's this idea that basically what the movie, I've never actually seen the Stone Tape movie, but the idea is these scientists find this piece of rock, I believe, and they do experimentations on it until they are able to access the thing that is recorded on it. And once they unleash that, all hell breaks loose. And so it's this idea, like the idea that you record something that was never meant to be recorded on something that is even like a stone piece of rock, which was in some ways the first technology. That transpired into other types of technology, and each technology has its moment where it falls or it transmits something it shouldn't have transmitted. And so, yeah, it's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, like rocks might have messages on them, but they might not be messages for us.
Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah. Dude, this is great. No, you definitely like got us to a much deeper place. Like, I was appreciating Ghostwatch for these things, but that just makes me love it even more.
Oh, it's and to be completely honest, like I didn't even think about all this. Like it wasn't until tonight when we were talking about it that it kind of just like it kind of made itself known. I was actually more enthralled by the actual ghost elements, and like the anchor getting locked in the understairs compartment and things like that. Like that's terrifying stuff. But it wasn't until
and they do a good job with that too.
Filming. Yeah, they do. I mean, and it's so weird because, like I said before, like there are elements of the in studio parts that feel fake. But man, I tell you what, it's amazing. Just adding Michael Parkinson to something like that can carry a lot of weight. I mean,
well, it's also great because like his role is to basically like be the ever-present professional.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And he does that so well. And like, it's so funny too that like as all the shit is happening and the recording studio like starts falling apart, he's just still trying to do his job. Like it's hilarious, it's funny, and I think the first time I watched it I was like, oh, this is all funny, and like at the end I thought it was really funny, like the final bit.
Yeah. But
like the final shot hit differently this time too. Like talk about like paying attention to details and how it like hits you differently. It was scarier. It wasn't funny, like because he eventually gets possessed.
Yeah.
Spoilers, I guess. But like, and the build-up and the fact that he plays the professional so well throughout the movie, and then it breaks at this one moment, really works.
And the way he plays the possession too is really good. It's almost like this confused muttering, like aimless walking around. Like it makes no sense. Like the things he's saying feel out of order and like confused, and it going from that professional newscaster feel to that, man, I completely agree. I found that to be just absolutely just the perfect note to end on. Like the perfect note.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, okay. All right. I feel like we actually should be wrapping up soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we both hit a film that I loved it.
Oh,
I
I
can
loved
say
it too.
that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you loved it. I think this is definitely my favorite so far of the series. And so if you're listening to this and you haven't seen Ghostwatch, I do want to let you know it's available for free on the Internet Archive.
Yes.
So you can watch it there full
but
on.
You can also get a
and-
high def quality recording of it on
Ooh.
Vudu for fairly cheap.
Ooh. Yeah, but I mean, it's worth it in the low def too.
Oh yeah,
just
definitely.
letting you know. But like,
matter of fact, you might even say that it's actually going to be more effective in low def.
Sure. But yeah, I would say if you watch one of the movies that we talk about, watch Ghostwatch. It's worth your time.
Now, neither of
and
us
then,
have seen the final one, so maybe it might compete with this one. But I think it's very clear that this is our favorite of this run.
Yeah, I guess I feel like this one, like if this one is beat by the next one, I think that you just need to do yourself a favor and watch two movies.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
That's how I feel about it. But before we leave the podcast, before we finish this episode, I do want to touch on the fact that we incorporated this into our found footage series.
Yes.
The way we've discussed it, I feel like, is a little bit different because it is a little bit different. But how do you feel it fits into the found footage genre, Blake?
I think it's actually a fairly meta take on found footage because it has a little bit of elements of both. In the sense that we're seeing live footage at the house of the haunting, we're given context. It's a news program. People are analyzing the footage. We're getting interviews with the people in the house, the woman and her daughters. We're kind of getting the footage as it happens. So like, there's that element, and then you have what happens once the ghost enters into the technology and the studio starts cracking apart and shit goes down. The whole program, including the context, then becomes the lost footage for whoever digs in the BBC archives can find it and then re-release it into the eye holes of whatever audience decides to partake in it. And so it's almost got this like Wes Craven Scream meta element to it. That's my take on it. What's your take on it?
Well, listening to that, I think it's interesting because my experience with this movie was I'd heard about it and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Except the Internet Archive. And so like the found footage aspect is almost and that's not true anymore. I guess you can find it other places too.
Apparently the only place you can find it is Vudu.
Oh, well, at Vudu. But it, you know, if we're going with this kind of narrative that it was like a real broadcast and it was lost to the archives and then I came about and found it.
Yeah.
Like it almost feels very meta in that way that like I am actually the one who is kind of finding this and I'm part of the story in that way.
And you're almost uncovering this weird, obscure piece of esoterica.
Yeah.
And repossessing the world with it.
Sure. But maybe on a more like, ground level.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a predecessor to, say, Paranormal Activity.
Mm-hmm.
If we're just kind of focusing on the in-house stuff.
Yeah.
So it really kind of does have a lot of, let's catch these ghosts. A lot of found footage films that kind of maybe are mockumentaries on the ghost hunter vibe of things. Like this would be maybe your first foray into something like that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So it does fit. It's, like we said, it's kind of a little bit different. There's a lot more meta elements like embedded into it. So in that sense, it might actually even fit in closer with something like Cannibal Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
So these are kind of a pair in that way. But yeah. So those are my thoughts on how it fits in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and most things I've read that have talked about pre-Blair Witch found footage always list Ghostwatch as a clear inspiration in the formation of the subgenre. So I don't think we're alone in allowing this to be part of our series by any stretch. So
no. And I challenge anyone to find this a bad movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know that there are some people out there who have said some things about the found footage genre. This might be your corner case that might break your general rule. If
Who are you talking
like
about?
Found footage.
Are you talking about Thad?
I think I'm talking about our producer Thad.
Oh, fuck that guy.
I think I saw him make a comment on something that was like, found footage sucks.
It's lazy. It's lazy filmmaking.
Oh, okay. I know. I'm being a lazy podcaster by not remembering his actual quote. So
Yeah.
Sorry I'm misquoting you.
I don't think he cares, and I definitely don't care that you're misquoting him.
Well, if I misquote him, will that make him email us and then we can read it on the podcast?
Yes.
I'm just trying to mine content from him,
really,
so.
Basically, like anything that we say that's even quote unquote wrong, he could easily email us about.
Yeah. Well, I guess that must be really hard for him because we're not wrong. He just has to hold back and he can never email us. I'm sorry about that, Thad. We're just never wrong. So
Yeah. Never at all.
All right. Blake, do you have any parting thoughts or words?
Well, I have a word, and it is special.
Okay.
That's my word.
Well, I think we should end on that word.
Beautiful.
Special.
Okay.
All right. Bye.